Hi, I'm Gitanjali and I represent Educate Girls today. So you've heard about volunteers, gender balance, infrastructure, what the government is not doing. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to talk more of the same. So that's not only the story of Munni, it is the story of a number of girls in rural India. 40% of the girls drop out of school at approximately 5th grade, which is the time they may attain puberty. For every 100 girls who does stay in school, only one reaches grade 12. And those who are in school, are they learning? Only 15% of the girls or children actually in schools, in government schools in India, can read a paragraph in their native language, which is maybe even the language of instruction in the schools. What is happening with this is that the number of girls who actually attend school is very different in proportion to the number of boys who are in school, which is causing a gender gap. So that's what my definition or how we operate from the way the gender gap is caused in the area of education. Gender gaps are where we go as Educate Girls and we go and want to eliminate the gender gap districts so that girls have an equal opportunity and actually access education just as boys. So, this is India. There are 26 gender gap districts in India. The concentration or where the area is, where all this is happening or the worst areas are in Rajasthan. 9 of the 26 gender gap districts are in Rajasthan, and currently Educate Girls has a presence in 2. And we would like to eliminate all the gender gap, educational gender gap districts in India. That is our overarching goal. What is the problem? Why aren't the girls going to school? There's lack of community ownership, bureaucratically run schools. There's no single person who feels it's their responsibility to actually go in and demand better services in the school. So everybody is leaving it on everybody else. And as a result, the government is not pulling their socks up to give better services to the kids. And that is also because there's lack of parental involvement. So this happens a lot. Imagine if a parent who has never been into a school in their life, what would they demand for? It's not something that's even in the scope of where they are and what they do. That's one. Next, low girl enrollment. In Rajasthan, we have girls are kept at home, obviously, for the demographic we work in. There is expectation of economic participation of all the adults. So the responsibility of looking after the children, the younger children, siblings, is on the girls. Child marriage. In one of our districts in Jalore, which is the worst indicators for child marriage, some girls are married as young as 10. I mean, that should be a whole program in itself. Lack of girl-friendly infrastructure. Many girls here. We even think about where we want to go and what toilets are on en route. Google is good for that. Girls are not going to school because there aren't any toilet facilities for girls. And I'm not a parent, but if I was, I don't know if I would want to send my daughter to a school at certain times of the month when they cannot manage themselves in the way that would lead to any kind of dignity. Children are not learning, like I said earlier. Some of the schools have about one teacher to 100 kids. There is programs by our government to provide a free meal. The teacher has to be in charge of all the children, educating them, and often even the responsibility of preparing that meal is on the teacher. So what does she do? I have this, let me at least feed the kids, they'll get something. So that's not really a place which is serving the purpose of education. So Educate Girls has come up with a model. It is not that innovative as I would like to claim it would be. It is mirroring exactly what the government has in place. So the government has thought this program out. Their education program is rolled out in a way which was initially probably intended to serve the communities, and they have kept all kinds of communities in mind. But the system is still not working. So what Educate Girls has done, it is smart that we have aligned ourselves with the different programs of the government, and we work in the government schools. So we don't have a new delivery system. We just sharpen, so to say, the programs that are in place and facilitate them better and get them moving from dormant to active. So we have parent-led school management committees, trained teachers, youth leaders, and girl leaders through Bal Sabhas. All these components work together to, our goal is to engage communities so that they take responsibility for their own services that they provide to the kids, so that over a long period of time, the community knows that they have better options and there's sustainable positive change, at least in the area of education first, and then it goes into their lives. Men Committee educates the community on the Right to Education Act. It conducts school assessments, and trainings are given to prepare and execute improvement plans. I'm going to take a minute to describe this. It's just not like a random picture. This is a chart that was prepared. We have come up with this chart, which has a pictorial depiction of what an ideal school in the government should have, and has made provisions for in their budgets. So this has empowered a lot of the parents who love that they come to school and they're just not just sitting there signing on something saying that there is a school management committee. They actually have the ability to see, are there enough textbooks? Are there girl toilets? Is there a boundary wall to keep wild animals out? So now that they have that, the parents feel that it is worth their time to go to school and actually participate. More than that, parents in the school management committee have now got access to knowing about and demanding the financial services. So there are budgets that are allocated for these improvements, and the school management committee's parents are aware of what that budget is. So when school administration or the government comes and says, we don't have funds to do that, they're like, but they're right here, and we would actually like you to put in extra classrooms because the facilities are improving and more children want to enroll. And for this, also to write letters and make sure that the information that is given out, we have youth-based volunteers, local community-based volunteers who are educated, so their criteria, and I'll tell you about that a little later, but they help the school management committee in filling out the forms and getting information and giving it to the parents who don't probably have the ability to read. The next component is the creative learning techniques. So the teachers are trained on different techniques rather than having schools which just do the rote method of education. And we provide kits on the program that we train the teachers with. And again, our youth volunteers help as like teacher aides, if you will, or extra tutors or extra hands in the class to help the teacher do what they need to do and make their jobs also more efficient. And our Bal Sabhas. So Bal Sabhas, I had this comment from someone, it's not that we created Bal Sabhas, that is so true. Bal Sabhas are also a mandate of the Indian government. The difference is the Bal Sabhas by the government are as in they're for boys and girls. What we have done is we have made 13-member all-girl Bal Sabhas. And we have a life skills component that is taught to the girls who are in this so that they have the opportunity to be girl leaders, much as student council. I'm sure many of you all were part of that in school. And this is a life skills training that is happening here. I've attended one of these, and the questions in this life skills training aren't that easy, and the girls make it an opportunity, want to ask me about it, but it is very thoughtful and very, like, it engages them in ways I'm sure that those are not the conversations they probably get an opportunity to have at home. Next is our Team Balikas. Like I said, I would come back to this. So our program is not run all the way down only by people who are employed, so to say, by Educate Girls. This is where the program goes into working with the volunteers. The volunteer criterion of getting a person who we recruit as a volunteer is they should have finished about 12th grade level of education, and they identify and solve problems around girls' enrollment. How do they do this? They're in the community. If I go into the community and tell a parent, you should send your daughter to school, they'll be like, who are you? Like, why are you in my business? So this is community people who talk to each other, solve problems at their level based on what even their cultural norms are, and figure out, it's like, I went, look at where I am today, what are my options now? And they mentor girls in school management committees. The school management committee part, I told you what they do. And they mentor the girls. Lots of girls want to talk to people who have done something probably different from what their families are, and they feel that their dreams may be different. And improve learning outcomes in classroom, and by using the same creative learning techniques, which I said they help the teachers in doing this. Okay, so our program works in a district for a 3-year period. And first we go into a district, obviously, like I said earlier, it's the gender gap districts that we go to. We sign a memorandum of understanding with the state government, and we create a district task force. Next is community mobilization. We have to go and recruit the village youth volunteers called Team Balika. And we, with their help, and of course also of like data that the government gives, we identify all girls in different communities that are out of school and organize communities to see what their problems are and how we can bring them back. Next, enrollment and training. Enroll girls in school. That is what we want to do. Bal Sabhas are formed. Train school management committee members. These things kind of happen simultaneously. Train teachers in creative learning techniques. And then how we are in the process of handing over. Conduct pre and post tests to see if what we're trying to do actually works. Hand over to school management committees and to Team Balika volunteers. The Team Balika volunteers are there to support the community even after Educate Girls exits the program after a 3-year full-time engagement. Now the exit phase, while we are there for 3 years, it's not like we just like pack our bags and leave after those 3 years. In a decided area, there is one person who is the point of contact if there is any need for a Team Balika volunteer or a school management committee to need some help in their area. So that's one, as opposed to like the whole program, the juggernaut like arriving in your community. So going back to what we were doing, the lack of community ownership, what did we do with all that I told you? We recruited village-based volunteers to work as champions for girls' education and a catalyst for school reform. What happened with low girl enrollment? With door-to-door surveys, we went to figure out what were the problems and barriers keeping girls out of school to get them back. Next was the lack of girl-friendly infrastructure. We worked with the school management committees to figure out how they could demand better services in terms of how to access the available funds to get what they needed to make their schools better equipped to bring the girls in. And we trained the teachers in creative learning techniques. Okay, so we have an impact evaluation that is pre-test, post-test, measured against control groups. And we have so far achieved 98% girls enrollment in our districts. Girls' attendance has increased from 62 to 87%. Drinking water facilities have gone up to 82%, and schools with separate toilets have gone up to 71%. And over 1,000 volunteers, school management committees. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to run out of time otherwise. These are learning outcomes, about a 20% jump in the difference of a non-program and a program school. The ones in red are the Educate Girls program schools. Now, sustainability. In the beginning, we had all our funders and EG paying for our model. At last count, at 4,425 schools, we have in red the 46% of financial contribution by the government of Rajasthan. And where are we going? We have come to a very aggressive scale. We are going to 13,000 schools. By 2016, we would have completed a program in about 13,000 schools. 6 districts, 13,000 schools, 1.6 million children, 731,000 girls, over 4,000 volunteers trained. And what does this cost us? A lot. 571,000 what we need this year. And we hope that you can help us. This is, I know it, I should have put glasses on this. This is just basically to tell you that while the program is going to scale, our head office is going to stay there, state office is there, and each one of these is how we manage each one of our districts. So we will just add more of these. There will be 6 of them, and that's how the program, organization is organized to be able to implement. Our leadership, Safina Hussain, has extensive experience in working with marginalized communities in the southern continents. Devendra Shukla has done lots of work in Rajasthan with the government, and we have a number of managers with a mixed 100 years experience in various kinds of state and non-government programs. Gulmukhi, Hansal Mehta, and Jasmeet Srivastav are on our board. We have a small board right now. We are in the process of increasing the size of our board. Our board members meet 4 times a year and are all very hands-on and involved in everything, 100% attendance at our board. Awards and recognitions, and some of the people who funded us in the past. All this is great. For me, I was in the field last week, and we were, like I said, talking to the girls in Bal Sabhas. The girls wanted to make sure they told their teachers that we want to get some time to talk to the people who've come from Bombay. And we were like, of course, you should ask us whatever. And the girls said, so what kind of jobs do women have in Bombay? The girls have started dreaming different dreams. So 730,000 girls waiting to be educated in Rajasthan. We invite you to help us educate girls. Thank you.